Hi, this is Alessio. Hope you're well, and I hope you're keeping healthy and safe. So in this video, I want to talk to you about the mother of all bubbles. Now, if you recall our previous videos, you know what I'm talking about. Yes, guys, I'm talking about the biggest bubble we've seen over the last few years, probably the last decade, which has been the property market, the real estate market, and the bubble which is bursting. If you take a look at this particular chart, I mentioned this to you in my previous videos, that we've seen bubbles in several countries in the property markets. We saw in the last few years bubbles in Vancouver, in Munich, London, of course, also states in America as well. And this bubble, fortunately, as we predicted it would, we said this in previous videos, if you recall, my previous videos, we predicted, as you recall, that this bubble would eventually burst. So people have been watching, if you've been watching our videos, then you and I essentially have been way ahead of everybody else. Most people out there, unfortunately, don't have this information. Most people out there, unfortunately, don't have the information that I've shared with you in these videos. So they've been unaware that this bubble, this dangerous bubble in the property market and the real estate market is going to burst. That property bubble has now burst in many countries. I would say in London, specifically in the city of London, it now seems that things are about to actually get potentially even worse. So just most recent data that came out, Bank of England predicted a major recession, potentially on a depression scale here in the UK. And of course, that's going to have a massive negative impact on property prices, on real estate prices. Very likely we could see similar impact in other countries too, like those countries I just mentioned in that list. So, you know, in my previous videos, I explained why this recession could happen. I mean, here's the thing, guys. Our viewers, the viewers of this channel, you and I have been prepared for this recession. If you've been watching our videos since last year, probably over a year ago, in fact, we showed this chart of the inverted yield curve. The inverted yield curve was warning over a year ago that, in fact, we could be heading towards a recession. By the way, some people are confused by this. I think, hang on a second, are you saying to us that over a year ago people knew this virus was going to happen? No, guys. I think people are misunderstanding the point. I mentioned this in a particular video about a few weeks ago. The virus itself is not the cause of the recession. In fact, the virus is more of a catalyst for the recession. Again, I explained this in detail in the previous video. Go ahead and watch. I'll put the link for you there at the end. For a recession, you need the three things. The three things for a fire, for example. You need the heat, the oxygen, the fuel. The fuel has been the debt, the huge amounts of debt, borrowing, and of course the oxygen was the warning signs of the recession, the inverted yield curve, and of course the heat, the heated bubble. So all the signs, all the ingredients for a recession existed over a year ago. What you need, however, is a catalyst. The catalyst was, of course, the virus. In previous occasions, we've had catalysts, like, for example, in 2001, the catalyst for that recession 20 years ago was the 9/11 attacks, okay, the events of September 11th. I would say in 2008, the major catalyst for the recession was when some of the banks went under, like when Bear Stearns collapsed, when Lehman Brothers collapsed, and so on and so on. Anyway, however, guys, listen, if you have not yet bought a property, if you're looking to buy a property in the near future, so if you're looking to buy real estate, then guess what, guys? This recession is going to become a major opportunity. It's going to become a buyer's market. A buyer's market is where essentially buyers, people looking to buy like you and me, will find amazing deals, amazing bargains, potentially. I'm hoping. I mean, I could be wrong about this. Maybe nothing will happen, but I think that very likely we could see those amazing bargains in property prices. Again, maybe in London, maybe other countries as well. So I would say perhaps by the end of this year, I don't think necessarily right now though, but perhaps in the next few months, maybe by the end of the year, we could see those amazing, great property deals, bargains, and again, that'll be a great opportunity for potential investors to buy. By the way, guys, listen, a recession, as my good friend Paul Elliott says this, Paul Elliott said a recession is actually a transfer of wealth. It's a transfer of wealth from people who are not ready, people who are not prepared, to people who are ready, people who are prepared. Some people ask, what do you mean by ready and prepared? Okay, you're ready and you're prepared if you have already, for example, if you have already set aside the funds, if you have already got the money, the savings you've set aside to buy a property, that means you're already halfway there. You're already ready to put that money into use in a recession or at the end of a recession and buy those great, amazing deals. The second thing is you need to have the right education. You have the right investment mindset and education. So it doesn't make any sense to just put that money into anything. You need to do your research. You need to know exactly what you're buying so you're not buying something that's overvalued. By the way, guys, let me say this, that if you're looking for a course, an educational course on property investing or real estate investing, one of the best courses out there, one of the best educational courses out there is by my good friend Paul Elliott. The link is right there if you want to go ahead and check it out. Paul explains the strategies and how you can find some great deals out there, and also how you can avoid major mistakes in property investing. So make sure you check it out. The other thing I was going to say to you, by the way, guys, is this, that now actually would be a good time to get in contact with your real estate agent or your property estate agent. So what you want to do is establish some contact and rapport with your local estate agent or wherever the estate agent is that you want to buy from, okay, whichever area. So establish relationships right now. Why? Because eventually down the line, when you find the right property, okay, then you can actually go to that estate agent and do some kind of deal. I would say, right now, if you're looking to buy a property, let's say in the near future, establish a relationship with your estate agent, your realtor, and also tell him, look, just say to him, if a property comes up on the market from a motivated seller, from a seller who is desperate to sell, a motivated seller, by the way, guys, is someone who, for him or her, time is much more important than making money. So remember, guys, motivated sellers are not your ordinary seller. They're people who are desperate to sell because for them, it's not so much about making profit, it's about time. The longer the time passes, the more it's becoming more dangerous for them. These could be people, for example, in divorce cases or people with financial issues. So these people don't have a lot of time on their hands. By the way, let me just say this. Some people say, well, isn't it immoral or unethical to buy from someone who is desperate to sell? I would respectfully say no. I don't think it's unethical. Let me explain to you. Because when someone is trying to sell something quickly, that person is faced with a serious problem. Okay. Now that person wants someone to solve their problems for them. That person is a buyer. That would be you. So if you're going to that seller and you're saying, okay, I want to buy your property from you, you're essentially doing them a favor. You're helping them. As Paul says, we're trying to solve a problem for them. So, it's a win-win. Most of the time, it's a win-win. Not only are we trying to help them by solving their problem, so we buy a property from them, but also we're buying the property we want at the price we want. That's why they say, buy low, sell high. And a recession is often a time when you can buy properties or real estate at a low price. All right, guys. Remember, guys, even though buy low and sell high sounds easy, it's not, because most people will avoid buying in a recession or the end of a recession because they think a recession is the worst time to buy a property. But there it is. Anyway, guys, by the way, make sure, before you buy a property or real estate, make sure you do your research, make sure you've done your homework, and again, make sure you check out Paul's educational course on property investing as well. All right, guys, I hope this video has helped. If it has, please give it a thumbs up, and I also look forward to seeing you guys in the next video update. Cheers, guys. Bye now.